Hi everybody. Okay, let's get started with the CD project, Project 3. Um, this is pretty much just an extension of what you've already been doing up till now, and building upon it. There are a few more elements then to consider and to integrate. Um, so let's get started. If you got out a ruler, you'd find that the front cover of the jewel case is 4.75 times 4.75 on each side. So let's create a new document and say exactly that. I'm going to let it go at 72 dots per inch right now because we're doing this as a web resolution project. If you were taking it into print, I would raise this to 240 as a minimum, or even 300. So I'll just say OK to that. And now, as I suggested before, let's lay out the front cover and the inside of the front cover in one document. It'll save on printing costs, and that's how they are always done as well. There's a fold. If you grab your CD jewel case, any CD, and pull out the front cover, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to say image canvas size and double the width. I could turn that to percent and turn that into 200% and say OK to that. Great, and now I have my rulers out, Control R or View Rulers, and I'm going to drag a guideline out to separate the fold where the front and back cover goes to here at 4.75 inches. So the front will be on the right and the inside cover will be on the left. And so let me go out now to Google and find an image. I've decided I'm going to do James Taylor. First of all, I went to Amazon and looked up an album that I thought I would do. And Amazon's a good place to start. And I'm going to recreate an existing album rather than start from scratch. But I want to reset all the type and reset all the images. But it offers a few advantages. You can just copy the playlist right here to include just with one click rather than retyping it. If you wanted to include a review anywhere on the image, on the layout, you've got some things that you can use here. And it should tell you also who the publisher was. I believe it's Warner Brothers on this particular album. So we'll need those details for getting a Warner Brothers logo and so on. So great. Let's see here, and over to Google. I did a quick search in Google for James Taylor publicity photo or just James Taylor, and I found this image right here that I thought would be a good one. So we'll click on it and click full-size image. Right-click copy image, and then go back to Photoshop, and let's paste it in. So that's Control V. And notice that it's quite a bit bigger than my layout because it was a large image. I clicked also large. Now I have a couple of options in here. One is that we could leave it cropped like this and use it as the cover just as it is, and after the fold we could lay out our track information over here. And the beauty of this is that when you open the CD, it integrates nicely, and there's a continuity. I can also try reducing this a little bit. I hit Control T, and let me just hold down Shift and Alt, and it'll shrink proportionately and uniformly here. And I might even like this a little better here. Yes, okay. So bring it back out so it fits the space. Great. So I'm pretty happy with this as a beginning, and I don't have to use the same image wrapping around inside like that. I can do a separate layout over here. But do let them have a continuity in terms of color scheme. So don't just start from scratch with whole different crazy colors over here. I'm going to just start a layout and see how I start going with this. So I'm going to just go best of James Taylor and see where we end up here. I'm going to keep it simple again with Arial. let's just see. And let's go into white. Or I could pick out a different color from the, and let's see, the size is 48 is a little large here. Let's try 36. Again, we want to start blocking things in, and not to worry yet about the layout and what we do with it, but I just need to get the elements up before I decide what I'm going to do with them. Once again, click up here, turn it back to white, and say OK to that. Now it's James Taylor. I don't want it to be much smaller than this, but it's going through an awful lot of busy stuff in here. So I have a couple of choices to make, and I might, just for the interest of being structural again, rotate this. So I'm going to say Control T, right click on it, and rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Check mark, and just see what happens if I put this over here. I'm going to bring out a guideline and mark my, always important to mark your space with guidelines and keep your margins, okay, so that the outer edge, I'll zoom in here to show you this, outer edge of the F and the top part of the J are aligned here, and that the margins are the same here, so I form a square in the center, in the corner here. Okay, I'm going to leave that for now. I'll tweak that later perhaps, or maybe not, but let me go back to Amazon, and pick up this playlist. There are a lot of tracks on this, 20 as it turns out, and I could take some creative liberties here and reduce the number of tracks, but let me just see what happens if I try to lay them all out onto that. So I'm just highlighting it and saying Control C, copying it back to Photoshop, and Type Tool. This time I'm going to create a type box, so I'm going to click and drag right through here and reduce the point size down. Let's try, just start with 8 points and take it from there. And I do have white, so good, okay. And I click on this and bring up the point size then. Let's try 10. That's good, we still have room to play here. 12. Not bad already, because of the way the playlist is over on this board over here. I'm losing just a little bit to Be Loved by You, so I have a couple of choices. I could highlight that element and turn it black. That's probably the easiest thing to do here. And check mark. And scroll down and see if anything needs to be fixed up here. Same deal. And zoom out. I'm doing pretty well here. That's probably a good time to stop. I've got my playlist. I love the way it wraps around the elbow here, these longer elements, and the way the white separates from the barn door. Once this is folded, I've got continuity. The cover is going to look very good just as a crop photograph of James Taylor up close. So I'm in good shape here. I want to file save as. If you want to save your layers, remember to save it as a PSD. And if you're ready to save it as a flattened element, choose JPEG in order to post it. So PSD format, Photoshop format. So CD cover 1. Oops, DC. and it might as well save it both ways, so you have access to your layers as a PSD, and as well you can, let me cancel this, go ahead and have a layer flattened version for posting on the blog. Okay, so part 2 will be to create the back cover and the inside back cover, and the layout dimensions are a little bit different than that. So I'll stop it right here and see you in the next video.